Good morning, my Real News Midday TV family. Thank you so much for tuning in this morning, and I'm wishing for everyone a wonderful and a productive day. And in the news this morning, businessman Samuel Frotty Dixon killed in St. Mary. The police are now investigating the shooting death of a popular St. Anne businessman, Samuel Frotty Dixon, at his home in Tower Isle, St. Mary, late Monday. Reports reaching the news are that Dixon had just arrived home around 7:15 p.m. when armed assailants opened fire at his vehicle. After exiting the car and attempting to flee, he was pursued and shot multiple times, the police said. He died on the scene. Originally from Portland, Dixon had made Oteria St. Anne his home for more than 30 years. During his time in the parish, he established and ran 2 gas stations in the town center, as well as a car dealership and an auto parts store in the White River area. He was well regarded in the community for his kindness, having donated equipment to the Port Antonio High School and provided beds to the Port Antonio Hospital in 2017. Men accused of driving away with a car mid-sale negotiation. The police have apprehended 2 men who allegedly drove away with a car mid-sale. A third man, who was found in possession of the stolen vehicle, was also apprehended. Reports are that 23-year-old Jaheim J. Romeo, a mechanic of Cassia Park Road, Kingston 10, and 23-year-old Javon Javi McIntosh, a supervisor of Bob Marley Boulevard in Corville Gardens, Kingston 20, both agreed to purchase a car from the complainant. According to the police, about 2:30 p.m. on March 11, the owner parked his Honda Civic along Constant Spring Road with the intent to complete the sale. However, it is alleged that during the negotiation, the duo, along with another man, entered the vehicle and sped off without the consent of the owner or any payment made. A report was subsequently made to the police and an investigation commenced. Police reportedly found the vehicle at a car wash in St. Thomas in the possession of 44-year-old Omar Campbell, a businessman of Leith Hall, Morant Bay in the parish. The men have been charged with larceny of a motor vehicle, conspiracy to commit larceny of a motor vehicle, and receiving stolen property. St. James, the woman accused of leaking indecent photos of another female. A 21-year-old woman has been charged after she allegedly posted indecent photos of another woman on social media. Anisha Murray, otherwise known as Acadian of Tower Hill in St. James, has been charged with malicious communication in relation to a 2-week-long incident which occurred between Friday, February 28 and Saturday, March 15. According to reports from the Montego Bay Police, the woman discovered that Murray had posted offensive, indecent, and obscene photos of her on a social media platform. A report was made to the police, and following an investigation, an operation was conducted at Murray's house on Saturday. She was taken into custody and subsequently charged. Her court date is being finalized. Teen who lured a girl with a band-aid charged with rape. A teenager has been charged with rape following an incident in which he allegedly lured and injured a girl into his home under the pretense of having band-aids and sexually assaulting her. Police say detectives assigned to the Center for Investigation of Sexual Offenses and Child Abuse have charged the teenage boy of Ferry District in Spanish Town with rape and a grievous sexual assault. The alleged incident occurred on Wednesday, February 26, when the teenage girl asked the boy for a band-aid as she had fallen and injured herself. He reportedly invited her into his house, claiming he had band-aids there. On their arrival, it is alleged that he locked the door, held the girl down, and sexually assaulted her. The incident was reported to the police and an investigation commenced. The accused boy was apprehended and subsequently charged after he was pointed out on an identification parade. Midwives in St. Elizabeth reported sick in protest action. Midwives in St. Elizabeth stayed off the job on Monday to express their frustration due to non-payment of on-call allowance. The nurses said they have not been receiving the payment since January 2025, even after being told to submit the claim. According to the midwives, only one payment has been made to date, with no explanation from the authorities. They say their colleagues in other health regions have received allowances without submitting a claim. Parish manager for the St. Elizabeth Health Department, Sean Brissett, reported that approximately 90% of midwives called in sick Monday morning. He said that the industrial action significantly affected some services.
Some services had to be rescheduled, and other services we had other nurses covered in some instances. And the services are not common to all health centers, because you may have one particular service being offered at this facility today and another one offered this week. For example, child health, and you have child health and immunization and so on. So all services are not offered all at once at all the facilities. So it depends on the kind of service that is being offered.
In response to Monday's protest, Wayne Chen, chairman of the Southern Regional Health Authority, said the authority has been working through the Ministry of Health and with the Ministry of Finance for weeks to rectify the issue.
There were some challenges between our ministry, the Ministry of Health, and Ministry of Finance over documentation, several payments, not the regular monthly wages and so on, but there were some outstanding allowances dating back to last year, and it's bigger than just the midwives. Several of our suppliers have also been affected, and we have been working through, going back several weeks now, through our ministry with the Ministry of Finance to ensure that these payments are expedited. The money has already been allocated by the Ministry of Finance, but the Ministry of Finance doesn't just hand over the money. There was some missing information apparently. Nothing that we can attribute to the southern region, but there was something that got lost in the transmitting of this information over the last several months.
Suspect in Gibbs Williams' killing dies in hospital after falling ill in lockup. One of three men charged for the October 2023 murder of Gibbs Williams, vice principal of GC Foster College, died Monday morning in the Greater Portmore lockup in St. Catherine. The news was informed that the prisoner, Jerome Hills, became ill in the lockup and was rushed to the Spanish Town Hospital for treatment, but he was pronounced dead on arrival at the medical facility. Hills was among three men charged for the murder of the well-known educator. The 55-year-old sports administrator was fatally shot outside a medical facility in Portmore, St. Catherine. It was reported that on October 6, 2023, Mr. Williams was in the car park of the facility when he was attacked and shot. He ran inside the medical facility where he collapsed and died. Rubio to visit Jamaica, Guyana, and Suriname this week. The U.S. State Department confirmed on Monday that the Secretary of State Marco Rubio will travel to Jamaica, Guyana, and Suriname from March 26 to 27 to advance what it describes as President Trump's U.S. foreign policy priorities in the Caribbean. While in Jamaica, Rubio will also hold bilateral engagements with heads of government from Barbados, Trinidad and Tobago, and Haiti. The State Department said Secretary Rubio's engagements with the Caribbean leaders will promote regional cooperation to end illegal immigration, counter transnational organized crime, strengthen regional actions to address Haiti's political and security challenges, and to strengthen the United States economic partnerships with Caribbean countries. Rubio's visit to the region comes as the Caribbean leaders continue to respond to the threat by the United States to revoke their visas over alleged exploitation of Cuban medical missions. The Jamaican government has indicated its intention to continue Jamaica's long-standing Cuban Medical Cooperation Program. The Holness administration said its review of the program had not found any evidence that it involved human trafficking. Several other Caribbean states, including Barbados, Trinidad and Tobago, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and Grenada, have rejected claims that they were involved in human trafficking under the Cuban Medical Missions program. Guys, thanks for watching. Please join us this afternoon at 2 p.m. for another news update.